Morning. Happy coffee time. Title, I'm not sure yet. Oh, I just lost a viewer. Whoops, I just lost another. I'm sorry, I'm boring. Maybe I should call this one, It's Clickbait. But it's not clickbait. We're going to start today off with a teaching, and then if we're so lucky, we'll go into some kind of conversation. And hopefully, I'll get to that book. And if I don't, then I'll do it tomorrow. But I hope you guys liked it. I hope it's fun. I enjoy doing it. And that's that. Starting with Yuan Wu, his letters. This one's called Move with a Mighty Flow. I think it's better to get to the Zen teacher first, that way I know that maybe it'll get heard. Just give it a try. It'll spiritually knock your socks off if you're ready for it. When your vision penetrates through, and your use of it is clear, you are spontaneously able to turn without freezing up, or getting stuck amid all kinds of lightning-fast changes and complex interactions and interlocking intricacies. You do not establish any views or keep to any mental states. You move with a mighty flow, so that, when the wind moves, the grasses bend down. When you enter into enlightenment right where you are, you penetrate to the profoundest source. You cultivate this realization until you attain freedom of mind, harboring nothing in your heart. Here, there is no understanding to be found, much less not understanding. You go on like this 24 hours a day, unfettered, free from all bonds. Since from the first you do not keep to subject and object or self and others, how could there be any Buddha Dharma? This is the realm of no mind, no contrived activity, no concerns. How could this be judged with mere worldly intelligence and knowledge and discrimination and learning if the fundamental basis is lacking? Did Bodhidharma actually bring this teaching when he came from the West? All he did was point out the true nature that each and every person inherently possesses, to enable people to thoroughly emerge clear and pure from the orbit of delusion, and not to be stained and defiled by their erroneous knowledge, and consciousness, and false thoughts and judgments. Study must be true study. When you find a genuine teacher of the way, he will not lead you into a den of weeds. He will cut through directly so that you can meet with realization. He will strip off the sweaty shirt that's clinging to your flesh, to enable your heart to become empty and open, without the slightest sense of ordinary and holy, and without any external seeking, so that you become profoundly clear and still and genuine and true. Then, even the 1,000 sages cannot place you. You attain a state that is unified and pure and naked and pass through to the other side of the empty aeon. There, even the primordial Buddha is your descendant. How could you seek any more from others? Ever since the ancestral teachers, all the true adepts have been like this. Take the example of the 6th patriarch. He was a man from a frontier area in the south who sold firewood for a living, and illiterate. When he met with the 5th patriarch face to face, he opened his heart and immediately passed through to freedom. The saints and sages live mixed in among the ordinary people, but even so, it is necessary to use the appropriate means to reveal this matter, and makes no separation between the worthy and the ignorant, and is already inherent in all people. Once you merge your tracks into the stream of Zen, you spend your days silencing your mind and studying with your whole being. You realize that this great cause is not obtained from anyone else, but it is just a matter of taking up the task boldly and strongly, and making constant progress. Day by day, you shed your delusions, and day by day, you enhance your clarity of mind. Your potential for enlightened perception is like fine gold that is to be refined hundreds and thousands of times. What is essential for getting out of the dust, what is basic for helping living creatures, is that you must penetrate through freely in all directions and arrive at peace and security, free from doubt, and attain the stage of great potential and great function. This work is located precisely in your own inner actions. It is a matter of being in the midst of the interplay of the myriad causal conditions every day. In the confusion of the red dusts, amid favorable and adverse circumstances, and gain and loss, appearing and disappearing in their mists, without being affected and turned around by them, but on the contrary, being able to transform them and turn them around. When you are leaping with life, and water cannot wet you, this is your own measure of power. You reach an empty, solidified silence. But there is no duality between emptiness and form, or silence and noise. You equalize all sorts of wondrous sayings and perilous devices and absolute perceptions. Ultimately, there is no gain or loss. And it is still all yours, all your own to use. When you go on grinding and polishing like this for a long time, you are liberated right in the midst of birth and death. And you look upon the world's useless reputation, a ruinous profit, as mere dust in the wind, as a dream, as a magical apparition, as an optical illusion. Set free, you pass through the world. Isn't this what it means to be a great saint who has emerged from the dusts of sensory attachments? Woohoo, thank you. I now give my confession. There were actually 3 false starts on this video that came to you today. And it was because I was trying to lead with myself and my insecurities and all these little things here. So that's awesome. Excuse me. I have a bit of a pimple growing on my nose. It hurts. I had been in a state of mind where I couldn't turn it around for myself. But basically, I'd lost that state of mind where I was not trying to establish views or keep my state good, and this harboring nothing in your heart. There's a statement to Joe Shu, and the quote's going to completely escape me. The monk asks him, well, what fault do you have that you closely examine? And Joe Shu answers, what do you have? And I'm certainly paraphrasing it. I'm just telling you the part that stuck out to me is, what do you have? And I had a whole bunch. A whole bunch of stuff, right? But I didn't want to be stuck in that. Hold on, I'm having minor mental struggles at the moment. What do you think it would mean when the wind moves, the grasses bend down? That's representing a state of of being. It's not representing mystical powers over the grasses of the earth, but it can damn well seem like it now, couldn't it? It's somebody who's clear-minded, no concern. And we're not talking, when they say, oh, you have no concern, what does it say? This is the realm of no mind, no contrived activity, and no concerns. What does this mean? Does this mean you're heartless? I don't care about you? Or, that couldn't be it, because the Buddha's all about compassion and, love, love, love. Well, actually, that's not, but hey, we're not that far yet. No concerns doesn't mean that. No concerns is something more internal. It's inside of you. Everything that they respond to here is not you having to learn how to deal with the outside world or some brand new holy la that you have to go out and attain. All this stuff is right in front of you. Okay? No concerns. Will they love me? Am I going to ever be listened to? I'm going to die and the world's going to forget me? Hell, the world doesn't know me. The world's never going to miss me. The world's never going to miss you. The world doesn't know you. So I'm fighting myself over, well, why the hell do I want to talk about all this shit for? Why? I don't know. But when I take up the concern for digging into that, I fall into a little war within, a little cognitive dissonance, a little self-judgment. You fall right into a drowning pool. Okay? So what about no contrived activities? Well, what's a contrived activity? I'm going to save my money, buy the gift, wrap it up, give it to Jane. Won't Jane be so happy? Jane will love me. Well, you're not supposed to act like that anyway, right? But no. There's something, it's like that, but it's on the inside. It's on the inside of you. So instead of putting your thinking outward, going, I'm going to do that, then this, then that, then this, then that, that's manipulation. But there's also an internal form of manipulation. Okay? And that's where you're thinking too much about what you project. I want you to see this, or I want you to see me doing this. Hey, I'm guilty of that too, right? I'm making a video. I want you to see me talking about sin. Damn, I'm such a human. But what does non-contrived activity mean? It goes another layer back. And I just lost it. I just lost it. I precisely just lost it because I precisely got self-conscious about what I was saying. No contrived activity. To have nothing in mind that I'm trying to impart is one thing. Perhaps when you ruminate on how to answer questions or deal with situations that haven't even happened yet, that could be a contrived activity. Well, think things of that nature. Now, harboring nothing in your heart. Not sure. Not sure I can put my words on what I'm seeing in my mind. And how do you go about not establishing any views? Or choosing, or keeping into any mental states? What would that mean? Well, I guess that would mean that you flow where you flow. And you could be wrong, or you could be clear. And suppose I'm clear. I'm not spectacularly clear right now, but suppose I were. That state will change. The state will go and fluctuate. And if I try to be attached to, well, I liked it better when I was not self-conscious, and I liked it better when I was not angry. It's true, but now you're angry. You don't have to keep angry either, and it'll change and it'll move on. It's our attachment to those states that makes them seem a bit harder to be free of. And you do not establish any views. I wonder if the deeper layer of not establishing any views would be like setting up ideas of how things ought to be, or entitlements, or self-defenses, or, to decide what's judicious, what's lawful. I don't know. But study must be true study. And when you find a genuine teacher, the way he will not lead you into a den of weeds. See, I love this bit. A den of weeds. There's a lot of the superfluous bullshit, the la la la, the holy talk, the sensationalism, I once heard somebody talking about they found a new teacher, and this teacher's teaching them the Zen, and she says to them to imagine everybody as if you're paying them back karma. You deserve whatever you get, or anyway, to reclassify and reframe the behavior coming into her from others in such a way that she's supposed to accept it patiently, or to let go of her inner resistance. And so on one hand, this advice sounds pretty logical if you're spiritually minded. On the other hand, I see it as putting up an unnecessary filter, and I'm not so sure if I'm using the statement in the right way, but what I think I'm describing, I think, is called putting head on head, or frost on snow. Like just adding something that it's not really gonna filter clean or make easier the realization that you needed to get to begin with. So they're like, this teacher says, it's to accept things and not let but the way you're accepting, I deserve this, therefore I must endure this, is to put your mind through the endurance of it. And that grates on your ego. And so the ego's going to come up. I don't deserve this, I don't do that. It's a lot of mental training work. I'm not trying to say it's not necessary, but I like the Buddha way better. Practice cutting it off at the beginning before it arises, so that you're not first off creating an object of the person doing harm against you. Well, not harm, whatever. Please don't take things to the extreme violence. Everything gets handled in its own way in the right time. But not to reframe the action coming toward you and giving it justified internal meaning. That is not what you're supposed to do. I don't believe that's what the Zen masters don't teach you that. They teach you it comes toward you, and you let it, it goes through. You don't cling on to any part of what's happening to the body, I suppose. I sure know I'm not that advanced. So the wind does not move for me, and the grass is bent. But you know what? Sometimes you catch a lucky break. That's when, you know when that happens? Here's the example of that. When when you're at work and something falls out the corner of your eye and your hand just go pop pop and it's back in place. Those are wind moving and the grass is bowing down. That's that moment. Now, what is the prerequisite for being in that moment? Total absorption in what? No mind. In it's just you and the thing that's happening in front of you, and other parts of your mind may be wandering, but you're not attached to anything that it's wandering to. You're not even attached to what you're doing. So no matter what, and it's a state of consciousness, and then boom, you see it, the action happening in the world, and you respond to it naturally. That's the kind of state that has no concern. That is the state that you enter into. This is enlightenment right where you are, and penetrating to the profoundest source, the light of your own eyes seeing. You cultivate this realization until you attain freedom of mind, harboring nothing in your heart. Well, obviously this directs that we have things we want to hold on to. We want to make a situation of it. We want to make a understanding of it that we can hold within or whatnot. We want to no object. That's weird. This is a hard religion. This is a stupid hard religion, and you expect me to give you flashy do click the bait, find out to become a Buddha, boom boom, it's easy. Oh jeez, I didn't even get to the book today, but this recording's over. Have a good night.